In sim racing, every frame counts in VR, and in iRacing, this is no exception. With just a few clicks today, I'm showing you how to get huge performance increases using Dynamic Foveated Rendering in iRacing, and we'll be running iRacing over a series of tests using maximum graphical settings with mirrors enabled using the incredible eye tracking technology in the Pimax Super. Today we're looking at Dynamic Foveated Rendering, or DFR, and if you don't know what that is, it's one of the high-end features incorporated into the Pimax Super and is developed by Tobii, an industry leader in eye tracking technology. By using the eye tracking cameras built into the Pimax Crystal Super, your PC only renders the exact spot that you are looking at in full glorious maximum resolution. Everything in your peripheral vision is rendered at a lower resolution, saving massive amounts of GPU headroom. And the best part, your eyes literally cannot even see the difference, but your frame counter definitely will. Now let's get right into the setup. It's super simple and only takes a few minutes. Step 1, we need to make sure that the headset knows what your eyes are doing. Open up your Pimax Play software and head over to the device settings. Scroll down and make sure that the eye tracking is toggled on. Now if this is your first time using it, make sure that you run the eye tracking calibration. It takes about 20 seconds, just follow the dots on screen with your eyes and you're good to go. Then select quad views. In this example we're using the Pimax Super Micro OLED, but the procedure is the same for all the other optical engines, and the original Pimax Crystal. For the Pimax Crystal Lite, you can use Fixed Foveated Rendering or FFR. Step 2. In iRacing itself, in display settings, scroll down to VR and VR mode and then select Foveated and allow eye tracking. Toggle the show eye tracking to confirm it's working, and that's it. Okay, now let's do the comparison. First, we're looking at the Nurburgring in the BMW M4 GT3. The Nordschleife is one of the most demanding tracks and also graphically using maximum graphical settings even on the RTX 5090. This is heavy on performance, and this is with Dynamic Foveated Rendering turned off. You'll see despite this being clear weather conditions, the frame rate is incredibly inconsistent and the overall smoothness of the experience is erratic. Now onto Dynamic Foveated Rendering on. Same track, same car, same conditions, and the frame rate is a rock solid 90 FPS. No judder, completely consistent performance, exactly what we're looking for. Next up, let's take a look at an equally challenging scenario. And this was astonishing. At the Nurburgring again, but this time in heavy rain. Now this brings even a 5090 to its knees at maximum quality settings, but again, no holes barred. This was tested with mirrors enabled and in the BMW M4 GT3. So a similar story, erratic FPS and hovering around the mid 60 FPS. Still an enjoyable experience, don't get me wrong, but what I didn't expect was what happened when I turned on Dynamic Foveated Rendering in quad views again. Now this was astonishing. We jumped from mid 60s to between 80 and 90 FPS, and that's an incredible performance uplift. And remember, foveated rendering with quad views technology mimics the human eye, and it provides maximum resolution to the direct area that you're looking at. And this moves so quickly that you cannot even see the Tobii Eye Tracking technology. This is the best eye tracking technology that I've ever seen in a VR headset. For example, in the Play for Dream MR it's completely visible, but having the reassurance of the industry leading technology by Tobii is a huge win for Pimax. If you want to experience the Pimax Super, you can try it completely risk-free. Just scan the QR code on screen or hit the link below and use the code NLSimGaming before April the 11th for a discount, return shipping assurance and extended 12-month warranty. If you don't love it, send it back. Now let's get back to the track. We're moving up a level in testing in this next section. This is incredibly technical and graphically intense. St. Petersburg in Florida, this time we're driving in the Ferrari 296 GT3. Starting off this time again using Dynamic Foveated Rendering turned off, this one was a bit more even in terms of performance, although we ranged from a mid 70 to 80 FPS average, so not hugely off the mark, Remember that we are using maximum graphical settings and using mirrors enabled. Over to Dynamic Foveated Rendering and quad views enabled. And this time we are around a solid 90 FPS at 90 Hz. High traffic density and high performance, exactly what you would want in a fast-paced sim racing title. So many people ask me regarding Dynamic Foveated Rendering, is there a drop in graphical quality? And the answer is absolutely not. In fact, the opposite, because you're getting a much smoother experience, less temperatures in GPU as it's under much less load, and as you can see from me on screen here, your direct view is rendered to the highest quality. And in virtual reality, there is no better feature. You can also see here the Porsche 992 GT3 in this striking Pimax livery. And this has accurate colour swatches of the classic Pimax green, the striking blue of the Pimax Super chevron, and the white to commemorate a new era with the Pimax Dream Air. And if you want to create your very own Pimax liveried vehicle, you can now do this in iRacing on selected vehicles. Simply select Paint from the main menu and then add the Pimax decals to your custom design. And once you've done this, don't forget to post your design on Reddit, iRacing and Pimax, and ask Liz from the Pimax Discord channel for a $20 gift card simply for sharing your design. Now back to Suzuka, and this time we're in my favourite GT3 car, the Porsche 992 GT3 Cup. And if you don't know already, Pimax is sponsoring this special 1000 km event at Suzuka in iRacing. And this is huge, not only because this is a highly regarded track, it also shows how Pimax, unlike other VR hardware manufacturers, are highly committed to the sim racing community and are working closely with game developers to ensure that we have the best experience possible. So this is iRacing, of course, at Suzuka, and we are using the same principles and settings that we used earlier in the video when we were benchmarking. So we're using maximum quality graphical settings. We have all mirrors enabled, and what I mean by that is the left, center and right mirror, not the virtual mirror which is set by default in the game. And that has an incredibly large performance impact actually on iRacing, which, in case you didn't know, is why the virtual mirror is the only one active by default if you do actually play in virtual reality. So everything is cranked up, maximum quality graphical settings, and this is just absolutely stunning. Now this is on the Pimax Super Micro OLED that I'm using here, but the actual Pimax Super is a fully modular VR headset, which means that the actual optical engines can be interchanged. I recently revisited iRacing a couple of nights ago, sort of during the shooting of this video, and I was using the actual ultra-wide optical engine, and I've got to say that instantly I noticed that additional field of view. The micro OLED is fantastic and looks beautiful, of course, but I actually really did forget how good the actual ultra-wide optical engine is. Now, using the Dynamic Foveated Rendering, despite the fact that there's a larger amount of field space to render, using the actual ultra-wide optical engine, so we've got that additional peripheral view because we've got a wider field of view on the actual horizontal axis. The performance was actually 90 FPS at 90 Hz as well, which is equally surprising, and it was actually a really enjoyable experience. So I am intending on revisiting that particular optical engine again in the near future, and we'll do some testing again on that. I only wish that more VR developers were utilising these sort of features, because what we have here is free performance on the turbo. So I let a couple of vehicles past me there, so we can see that in the mirrors I've got obviously a full pack behind me, but also I just wanted to have a couple of target vehicles in front of me just to demonstrate the levels of performance. Now, of course, the vehicle quality is set to the highest quality possible, as you can see from me, nice blue flames popping out of the back of that Porsche that we have in front of us there. I don't know what the actual performance is at the moment because it's in the top left hand corner of the screen. You'll see the FPS counter up there, and I'm also recording on the same PC, and I have Streamlabs recording in 4K, and I actually have an Elgato Pro as well, which is recording me here as well with a chroma key green screen background behind, which is obviously another feature active there as well. All of these add an incredible burden on the GPU, but there's no frame drops. Everything is absolutely incredible. It's stunning actually. It's desktop quality. The apex of the pin sharp. I can see everything down to the actual micro details here, and the braking marks and everything are ultra visible. Even the little details like all the debris falling off the tyres on this vehicle in front, you may be able to see that as well. It's just absolutely awesome, you know. So I've got everything going here, you know, all the feature sets available to add into the actual graphical settings as well. Unbelievable, it really is such an amazing experience, and I absolutely just love iRacing. And in fact, actually, we're now on the new updates of iRacing as well. We're in the new season, and you know, some of the improvements are absolutely awesome. Also, I've had a vehicle go off as just in front of us up here. Something's happened. But back onto the game. If you don't have a 5090, you are going to be the ones that this video is primarily aimed at, because of course I've got the benefits of being able to film at 4K quality with a 4K camera and operate the game at the highest quality graphical settings, which is an incredible experience. But if you have something like a 4070 or a 4080, you can utilize these same features and achieve these same levels of performance. And I've actually done some research in Reddit as well, and I've seen that other users are reporting, you know, equally fantastic experiences with their own hardware, despite the fact it's maybe not a 5090 or even a 4090. They are getting performance improvements of around 20%, like demonstrated in this particular video here. So it's a free tool. As part of the Pimax Super, it comes with just a flick of a switch as demonstrated within this, and of course it's a incredible reason to of course look at a Pimax Super as an option. But on the Pimax Crystal Light as well, we also have the incredible fixed foveated rendering, which also works with the quad views feature in iRacing. Now how that works is, remember, in iRacing, actually as we're looking at it now, the actual dynamic foveated rendering concentrates on whatever area we're actually looking at, so it will actually render at the highest quality. In the outside peripheral view, we rendered at a lower quality, which is exactly how the human eye works. So I can't see any difference. All I can see is just absolutely unbelievable quality visuals here. On the actual Pimax Crystal Light, it has fixed foveated rendering, so it will actually target a specific area of the center view of the headset wherever you're looking, but you can get up to 120 Hz, 120 FPS on the Pimax Crystal Light as well. Equally, I think the Pimax Crystal Light is an absolutely unbelievable direct display port VR headset, and still is my personal favourite actually in sim racing in many respects, and I actually did feature this in a recent video as well. So if you don't have a budget to stretch to a Pimax Super, the Pimax Crystal Light is also an absolutely unbelievable option for you. And remember, you can also get a discount on the Pimax Crystal Light as well as the Pimax Super, with this feature set that we now have by Pimax, which is obviously this extended warranty and also the return shipping assurance as well. And again, links are in the video description to give you all the information of that. So this is of course an incredible experience. I hope this video has been of help to you, but it's something that you really do have to try, because this is the best VR sim racing experience that I personally have ever had. This time you can see simply that even at maximum graphical settings, the absolute rock solid 90 FPS and 90 Hz, and the simulator runs extremely consistently. If you're an iRacing enthusiast, there really has never been a better time to take the leap into VR, especially with Pimax's risk-free trial and that discount code below. And you don't even need a 5090 to see these sort of gains. Features like dynamic foveated rendering, GPU upscaling, and smart smoothing are giving massive FPS boosts to users even on 3080s and 4070s and lots more. Let me know in the comments what GPU you're running, and have you tried DFR yet? And if you want to see how VR compares to an ultra-wide monitor experience, check out this iRacing video that will answer everything you need to know.